Everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyer and Michael Bullock. Guys, I'm so sorry for the late start here tonight. Basically, my computer was very slow warming up. It was one of those things. So, uh, first off, we started off with a promo by the new NXT champion, Braun Breaker. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't really that bad. I think it was solid for what it was worth. I really got nothing bad to say about it. I thought it was all right. So then after that, we did get the first matchup. It was Santos Escobar versus Exxon Quinn. Santos Escobar wins the match. 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Solid match. Look, the feud, all right, probably not the best in the world or anything remotely great, but I will say this was a fine match, very good battle, and yeah. So really nothing more to add here. This was I'll give this about 3 stars. So Anthony Florio, what's yours?
3 to 3.25. I mean, just wait a moment here. It seems the Legado Quinn feud is officially over. This was definitely the best option for everyone involved. Elektra Lopez is an important part of Legado del Fantasma, and no one is set to take her role. I hate to do it to you again, Emmett, but it's Zion Quinn, not Exxon Quinn, but it's Zion Quinn, and he does not need her specifically to succeed. Santos Escobar is consistently one of NXT's best in the ring. Zion Quinn is still learning. He will recover from losing this feud, looking like he can compete with one of the best, even if he has room to grow. So I'll give this up. The match was 3.25, but I'm going to bump it down to 3 because of the interference at the end, especially Elektra Lopez with the low blow, and that was all that Santos needed. So 3 stars for me. I agree with MF's rating 100%. So not much more to say. So Michael Bullock, so much for that Elektra Lopez and Zion Quinn relationship. That's down the tubes. She's staying with Legado.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you guys can say that Zion Quinn. I guess you can say he's been had by Elektra Lopez, and all I can say is to you, Mr. Quinn, don't ever trust a woman like her, because unfortunately for him, he found out the hard way. So yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, I thought this was a good match for what it was, but yeah, the interference. I mean, yeah, that took it down a bit, but Elektra Lopez showed her true colors and said, "Legado del Fantasma is my family, my group, and I plan on staying with them, and I have no time for a scrub like you." So that's really all I can say on it. So Fletch, it is yours.
All right, and with that said, we move on to the next match of the evening, which was Cameron Grimes versus Damon Camp. Uh, and it was Cameron Grimes winning in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Fine. Uh, Next up after that, we had the first matchup of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. It was a play-in match, as it was Joe Gacy and Harlan versus Edis, Enfo, and Malik Blade. Well, Enfo and Blade wins the match. In 3 minutes and 14 seconds, they advance. They are in to the Dusty Rhodes Classic tournament. They actually do win it because Harlan basically blew his load, or basically had a mind cramp. Basically, did not break on the count of 5. Referee had no choice but to call for the bell. So see ya Gacy, see ya Harlan. You ain't getting in there now. So that ended that. Then we had, all right, this one was highly anticipated. Pete Dunne versus Tony D'Angelo, crowbar on a pole. Well, when it was all said and done, Tony D'Angelo wins the match. Unfortunately, I don't have a time here, but Anthony Florio, we definitely are going to talk about it. Tony D'Angelo takes down the Bruiserweight. The crowbar does indeed come in play.
Wow, holy Vince Russo here, because this has the making of a Vince Russo brainchild here, because we know how much he loved objects on a pole matches. But while pole matches are inherently strange, this was mainly just Dunn and D'Angelo fighting with a couple of weapons. The two played on the story they had built up, as the heel was just a little craftier than the injured Bruiserweight. It seems like Dunn could be on his way out of NXT. He put over a talented young heel who has a ton of natural ability and is developing quickly. For his talent, Dunn deserved a bigger final match, so hopefully this isn't quite the end. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give this about 3 to 3.25 for this effort, so not much more to say. Michael Bullock, let's improv a rating here. We don't need no stinking time.
Yeah, we don't need a time here for this. I'll give it the same rating as well. 3 stars is my rating. I mean, once again, it was a fine match, but could have been better, absolutely. But yeah, so I really do hope that this is not it for Pete Dunne in NXT. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see on it. So there's really nothing more to say, Fletch. It is yours.
Yeah, Pete Dunne's been working a lot of dark matches lately, and he's been working with Tommaso Ciampa on SmackDown and even on main events lately. So it seems to me that absolutely that it looks like it's starting to become more prevalent. It's starting to look more possible that we could get the Bruiserweight on the main roster. Maybe could we see him as one of the 30 men in the upcoming Royal Rumble match? I that probably seems very, very likely, but we'll wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, it was about 3 stars. I'll give you that, guys. So I really got nothing more to add here. Next up, we had was the 6-woman tag team fight, as it was Kaden Carter, Casey Catanzaro, and Amari Miller. They went up against Persha, Indy, and Wendy Chu. When it was all said and done, I guess they are the heel team in this one. Persha, Indy, and Wendy wins the match. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We don't really need to get into that. Next up we had was Solo versus Boa. That ended in a double count out. 3 minutes, 47 seconds. By rule, by the law, letter of the law. That's an automatic NA for all of us. We don't get into that. It does lead us to, I believe, which was the main event of the evening. And this one we need to get into. Highly anticipated Grayson Waller going one-on-one with the phenomenal AJ Styles, winner of the bout. 14 minutes, 15 seconds was indeed the phenomenal AJ Styles. He wins the match. Michael Bullock, a heck of a main event, man. This is Grayson Waller's biggest and toughest test to date, and he got up against one of the best in the game, the phenomenal one. How did Waller do under the lights in the main event?
Yeah, he did well. He did all right, but did you really think that he was going to go over on the phenomenal one? I don't think so. So
it's possible, especially if they wanted to push him, especially under this NXT 2.0. I think they could have let him. They could have given him the win over.
Yeah,
AJ.
but if you're a hater of Grayson Waller, which I am, I think everybody wanted to see that little prick get his comeuppance. Which he did, and well, let's not forget also. After the match, LA Knight returned, and Yeah, and basically got some of Grayson Waller as well because of the history with those two. So to me, this was the fight of the night here. I'll say 3.5 to 3 3/4. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, Grayson Waller did look good here, but yeah, I didn't think they were gonna have him go over on the phenomenal one. So yeah, so that's just my personal opinion on it. So Fletch, it is yours.
This is an easy one-off. This is a one-off performance for AJ Styles. It was awesome to see him under the NXT banner and get to compete for the first time. I think they did really good with that. Grayson had an excellent match. I think this was his personal best. He looked really good in there. There was some points where maybe it looked like Grayson was a little bit out of his element there, but I thought they did a good job with it. I thought they did a solid performance. And for me, hats off to AJ for giving us an excellent match, to say the very least. I thought they did a really good job with it. Grayson looked really well. 3.5 stars is my rating for it. Yes, it is the fight of the night. This was the one thing that had me hooked or had me interested in NXT the whole night. I didn't really care much about the other stuff, but this match alone is without a doubt a must watch. You have to go out of your way to watch this match. Doesn't matter about anything else because there was nothing else that really made us feel like it was going to be incredible or anything else like that. But this match absolutely delivered. The hype, the what they were doing prior to this, leading up to the match, and the whole 9 yards. We got ourselves a payoff and a half finally at the end, and it gave us an excellent battle. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
100% agree with everything you guys have said here. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was the fight of the night with a huge spotlight and build that got him on Monday Night Raw in multiple weeks. Grayson Waller delivered in spades. He looked like he belonged next to the phenomenal one. It was an impressive performance where he very nearly pulled out the ultimate upset. A performance like this will make many look at Waller in a way they haven't before. He has arrived as the top heel in the ring after a month of buildup. His feud with LA Knight is heated and could very well set up Waller for the big win he needs to solidify a run to one of the main NXT titles. This was a big match that far exceeded the rest of the show. It felt like one of those moments NXT has long awaited, and it delivered. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Fight of the night, no question about it. So with that being said, MF, let's get to the overall review, and I believe you started off.
Not a great NXT 2.0. Lot of cutouts, nothing that really would have resonated for me at all. However, the main event absolutely delivered, and the main event kind of was a little bit of a saving grace. But for me, this was below average more than anything else. I can only give this maybe a mere 4 out of 10, and that's maybe me being very generous with that rating. But at the end of the day, that is the rating that I'm going to give it. So, Anthony Florio, it is yours.
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, 5.5, to be honest. Maybe even teetering to a 6, like a 5 to 6. I mean, because we did have 3 good matches. I mean, the main event was of course the fight of the night. Tony D'Angelo and Pete Dunne. That was a solid crowbar and a pole match, and then you had the solid match with Zion Quinn and Santos Escobar. A solid opening promo from Braun Breaker, and yeah, the rest of it was cutouts. And MF, didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you guys last week that I personally was expecting what I call a back to reality edition of this show,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it was literally back to reality. I mean, coming off an amazing and epic New Year's Evil last week, I said to myself, yeah, we're going to get a back to reality show. And sure enough, we got one. So I'm going to be a little more generous than MF. I think he underscored it a little bit. I mean, I it's an agree to disagree. I agree with MF saying that the overall show is meh, but I think it was a little better than a 4 out of 10, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go between 5.5 to 6. That's the best I can give it. So because like I said, 3 good matches, a solid opening promo from Breaker. The rest of the show, blah, but that's all. So 5.5 to 6 for me. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, sorry, man. I mean, a week ago you were riding high. You had you guys delivered an epic New Year's Evil, but unfortunately, it was the old back to reality got us in the ass this week.
Yeah, sorry, Florio. I'm with Fletcher. You way overscored this one. This to me was a 4 out of 10. I'm with him on this one. I mean, yes, you had some quality matches, but the problem is you had too many cutouts. You had too many fillers here. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is why, we all feared this was going to be a back to reality, and lo and behold, that's what it was. A back to reality. So, sorry, Florio. I disagree with you. You way overscored this. 4 out of 10. Fletch, it's Dynamite time.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna try to get this through. I'm sorry. I just had to cut this out because I was about to start the show because I was on the verge of trying to do the recap for the AEW, but then I got a stupid pop up and it kind of interfered with what I was attempting to do. So
Welcome to
we
my
started,
world.
huh?
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm used to it.
But this is on a cell phone. I'm not using my computer. I'm just using my cell phone.
Oh man.
And that's why that happened. So no. Anyway, we did start off AEW with a promo segment as it was Adam Cole and the crew. There was Bobby Fish, there was Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon were there, the Young Bucks were there, and then they were interrupted by the Best Friends, and oh my goodness, did it explode! Wheeler Yuta, of course, Wheeler Yuta, Trent, and Chuck, they went at it. Of course, with Orange Cassidy, whole breakdown. Then the next thing that broke out was Chris Statlander, the alien, basically got in the face of Adam Cole, and then there was a house call by the doctor. Dr. Britt Baker shows up, takes out and beats down the alien, Chris Statlander. And yeah, and the Young Bucks traditionally does their little kiss on the cheek to Adam Cole. And no. Out of the way. Let the girlfriend, let the future wifey do that. And yeah, so Adam Cole and Britt Baker share a moment. Yes, it is legitly, we got to see it. We finally get to see it for the first time. I guess you could say in public and in front of the world, Britt Baker and Adam Cole together. So yeah, all right, it was cool. We liked it. Next thing we know, so I thought it was a solid segment. I got really nothing bad to say. So Anthony Floyer, what's yours?
Well, next week on AEW Dynamite, the golden couple, the power couple here, Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker are going to square off against Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander in a mixed tag next week. So DC, brace yourselves because you're going to be in for one hell of a mixed tag, I'm telling you. But interesting start to the show, like MF said. But for me, it's only because Dynamite rarely begins with a promo segment. I mean, we're used to this in WWE. I mean, every show begins with a elongated windbag talking segment, as I call it. Usually on AEW, we usually get a match. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys. But But this show rarely begins with a promo segment. But beyond that, it accomplished what it set out. It continued to plant seeds of dissension within the heel ranks while furthering the feud with best friends and introducing Dr. Britt Baker and Chris Statlander into the fray. Hopefully, this leads to a kick-ass multi-person tag match because it would certainly have the potential to go down as a match of the year candidate if given the time. A pay-per-view setting like Revolution in March would be appropriate, but we'll see. But great way to start the show. Not much more to say. I mean, Michael Bullock, like I said, it's very rare that Dynamite starts with promo segments, but in this case, they did. And on top of it, we're gonna see Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker, the Golden Couple, team up next week against Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander in a mixed tag.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we finally get to see. Now everybody knows about Dr. Britt Baker and Adam Cole, the power couple, and basically, yeah, I cannot wait to see this next week. I mean, with the two of them going up against Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander, and as far as the women's side of things, I think you're looking at the next number one contender for the AEW Women's World Title and Chris Statlander. That's the way I see it. And of course, the continue power grip with the Young Bucks and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. I mean, they're literally tugging at Adam Cole to see who Cole's going to side with. But that's going to be interesting to see as this whole thing continues on. So, yeah, fine segment to start it off. So there's really nothing more to say except Fletch. Let's move on.
Then we had a match. It was CM Punk going one-on-one with Wardlow. And CM Punk wins the match in 14 minutes. But that's not really the big story about this match, Anthony Florio. Wardlow was literally destroying CM Punk. Like, he literally could have won the match time after time after time after time. But MJF really wanted it to punish Punk, and it actually backfired on him because he made one major calculated mistake, and it cost Wardlow the match. And boy, there were repercussions after that.
Oh boy, was there! And what was the time of the fall on that?
14
if you have it,
minutes even.
14 even. Well, all right. Just because of that doesn't mean that the rating I'm about to give, when it comes to the rating, it doesn't suggest this was a great match. What it was, though, was an expert bit of storytelling with a nod to the past, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to give this theme of the night. No, I'm going to give it between 3.25, maybe 3.5 at best. Here comes the nod to the past. And MF, this is something that you and I know very, very well. Well, Bullock knows it too, but you and I know it very, very vividly. CM Punk taking the beating, including the powerbomb through the table, before rolling his larger opponent up for the win with a small package, was an ode to, talk to me, Survivor Series 95. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. The Diesel versus
Bret Hart and Diesel.
Hart. Yep.
Damn right. And how much fun did we have with that back in the day, MF? But anyways.
Fun with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time fun. Big fun, no doubt. But Punk taking the beating, including the powerbomb through the table before rolling his larger opponent up with a small package for the win, was literally an ode to the Survivor Series 1995 main event, in which Bret Hart used Diesel's aggression against him en route to a come-from-behind victory that gave Bret Hart the World Wrestling Federation Championship. The longest-reaching takeaway was the continued dissension between Wardlow and MJF. We saw it on full display here, where MJF's ego got in the way, what else is new, and cost Wardlow what would have been the biggest win of his career, hands down. The heightened tension after the bell only furthered the story and set up the inevitable moment in which Wardlow explodes into the atmosphere of AEW stardom by laying out his loudmouth charge. Fantastic storytelling and a tease of things to come helped elevate this and earn it the rating I just gave it. So between 3.25 to 3.5 stars for this. So yeah, so Bullock, you saw it. I mean, it literally had the feel of Survivor Series 95 when Bret Hart small package Diesel to win the World Wrestling Federation title on that very night. But MJF got, being the PC, what he is, cost Wardlow the biggest win of his career. And next week, CM Punk's got to run the MJF gauntlet again because he's got to go up against the chairman, Shawn Spears.
Yeah, I mean, it did remind me of the '95 Survivor Series with Bret Hart and Diesel, with that ending. So, first off, MJF, what in the blue world are you thinking? I mean, your ego is so big, it needs its own damn zip code. I mean, Wardlow was on the verge of the biggest victory of his career, and you just couldn't. I mean, you had to let your ego get in the way. And you say, no. This is not about winning. This is about beating the crap out of CM Punk. Yeah, well, that plan came back and bit you in the ass. All because you had to be an arrogant prick, which you always have been. And yeah, I mean, yeah, this to me was, it was a good match. I'll give it about maybe 3.25 to maybe 3.5, even though I'm leaning more towards 3.25. But yeah, now it looks like Punk's gonna run that MJF gauntlet because he's got to deal with Shawn Spears, and yeah, somewhere down the line, Punk is gonna get his hands on MJF, and MJF. I mean, this whole thing is gonna blow up on him because it's gonna eventually lead to Wardlow finally saying, "I had enough. I can't take it with you anymore." And who is MJF going to have to help him out when he does have that match with CM Punk? Who is it?
Probably Shawn Spears would probably be the only guy I could think of.
Because it will be Shawn Spears.
It will probably be Shawn Spears because Wardlow
next week it's Punk and Spears. MJF came out later in the show and barked like he always does, and he kept saying, "You want the match? You want the match?" Well, next week you're gonna get the match: CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. Really? Yeah. Who saw that coming? Yeah. I did from a mile away. Thanks.
Yep. So the thing is, at the end of the day, is that Wardlow had the match. It was his. Mm-hmm. It was his for the taking. But MJF wants to end CM Punk's career. That's all it is, gentlemen. He wanted it to end Punk's career. He wanted to make an example of CM Punk. He didn't care about winning the match. He didn't care about Wardlow winning or losing the match. He wanted Wardlow to destroy Punk. That's what it was all about tonight. And that's the one thing. And you saw what Wardlow, there was a moment when he set him up for the table and Wardlow's like, "What are you doing? Like, why? Why do you want me to do this? Like, this is absurd. This is getting ridiculous now. There's nothing more for me to prove here." But he put him through that table, try to put him back try to finish it, and that's when he's like, "No, do another power bomb. Do another power bomb." And he's like, "Dude, he's out. I can pin him right now." He didn't let it do it. And the next thing you know, Punk got that inside cradle and got the 1, 2, 3. And the look on Wardlow's face said it all. What the bleep? I had this match. It was over. I had him dead to rights. What the flip are you doing? So, I mean, trust me, I was like, I was happy Punk won, but I was like, man, you got away, Punk. That's the thing. He got away with that one. So, all right. Next up we had was a one-on-one match, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. Winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Dante Martin wins it. Anthony, Ricky Starks tried to stick his nose where it didn't belong, but man, we had ourselves quite an equalizer for Dante Martin, a former Ring of Honor world champion, got involved.
As well as a former Impact X Division champion.
Yes.
Black Machismo, Jay Lethal. And what was the time of that fall again? What, in 8 seconds?
10:05.
Oh, 10:05. Okay. 3.25 here. I mean, it was a bit odd to see a second straight match end with the babyface narrowly scoring the win based on a distraction. But this was still a fun match that highlighted two men who are very much foundations of AEW's future. The introduction of Jay Lethal is interesting in that it gives Starks another challenger to the FTW title, but also provides Dante Martin an ally in his war with Team Taz. Speaking of which, where's Leo Rush been? I wonder what's going on with that. But
Leo's in the doghouse. Leo's in the doghouse.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
No, he's in the doghouse.
I can't say I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah, I had a feeling he was. There had to be. I had a feeling there was heat on him. I'm not surprised. 3.25, like I said. But hey, I mean, Jay Lethal with. I mean, Dante Martin possibly learning from Jay Lethal. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I would love to see it. So, great to see him. I mean, MF and I know him very well. I mean, Bullet doesn't know much about him, but MF and I basically know him from his days in Impact Wrestling, where he was a big star down there. One of the stalwarts of the X Division, no question, a former multi-time X Division champion, known as Black Machismo, Jay Lethal, when he was doing his spot-on impression of the Macho Man Randy Savage, which was awesome. Go back to that legendary promo segment with Ric Flair, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But MF also knows him as being a former multi-time, is that right, MF? Ring of Honor World Champion?
Ring of Honor World Champion. He's done it all in Ring of Honor. He was the longest television champion in the history of the company. He was also a member of the House of Truth and actually was he was the first man ever to have both the Ring of Honor World title and television title at the very same time. He had both belts in his possession at the same time. Yeah. The only man in Ring of Honor history to have both belts at the same time.
And nearly became that champion again before Jonathan Gresham got him. So at that big event last month that MF and I watched before we started our NFL show that night. But anyways, that's just a sample for anybody who may not know who he is. I know Bullock doesn't know him all that well, but that's just a sample, Bullock, of what he's done. So, and I think you've seen him wrestle once or twice before, so you're definitely in for a treat. So there's no question about that when he eventually does wrestle. So, give this about 3.25. So Michael Bullock, it looks like we have another guest coming to the dinner table here. Jay Lethal, possibly. We could see possibly him and Dante Martin maybe against Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks down the line, or maybe Jay Lethal could be the next in line for the FTW title.
Yeah, I mean, for Team Taz, they got another problem. That man is Jay Lethal, and I'm interested to see what they do with him. But Dante Martin and Jay Lethal against Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, I'm definitely down for that. I mean, if they do decide to go that route. So I'm definitely. I mean, I used to got a little small tasting of Jay Lethal, of course, when he debuted in AEW, and I'm interested to see a whole lot more of this guy. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. I'll give it about maybe 3.25 for the effort here. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Next up, we had was a one-on-one match: Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida. Serena Deeb wins the match. This was really more of a segment than a match. Serena Deeb jumped Shida, started messing with that knee, that injured knee of Shida. Got to the point where Paul Turner basically called the bout, called the fight off. And then after that, Serena Deeb continued to beat up Shida with that bad knee, that bad leg. It got so bad that the referees ran out to try to stop her. Well, Ty Conti and Anna Jay ran out, and that basically was it. They basically had enough. Serena Deeb exit stage left after that. When Conti and Jay ran out, oh no. You know you gone and done it. If you had Conti and Anna Jay coming after you, oh no, you know you messed up now. So
I'll tell you this, Fletch. Ty Conti and Anna Jay, after what they saw, they're gonna probably want a piece of Serena Deeb.
oh yeah.
So Serena Deeb may have started something that she might not be able to finish.
And I know they said there was one other wrestler that ran out, but I don't have the name of it. So if anybody can help me with that, that'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, this was more of an angle. There was really nothing more to add about it. So we could just move right on along with this one. Next up we had was Penta El Zero Miedo versus Matt Hardy. For some odd reason, they're not giving me times now. Penta El Zero Miedo wins the match. He beats Matt Hardy. We could free swing it. We don't need the time. Screw it. Michael Bullock, it's yours anyway. So Penta Zero Miedo beats Matt Hardy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was a fine match here. I mean, I'll give it about maybe another 3.25. I mean, as I'm trying to wing it here with this. I mean, it was a fine match. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
I agree. Fine match. It was all right. I could give this about 2.5. More than anything else, I kind of felt like it was kind of more that kind of a battle than anything else. So, I mean, could have it been better? Absolutely, but I'm not gonna hype too much about it. It was solid for what it was worth. The outcome was never in doubt. Penta El Zero Miedo was gonna get the win here because of the fact that now they're gonna probably want to push him as a singles act because his brother Ray Phoenix is gonna be out for a while. I mean, with that neck injury that he suffered, he's definitely gonna be out for a little bit. So who knows how this is gonna play out more than anything else. So yeah. So Anthony, it's yours.
I think we forgot something that happened after this match was over. But we'll get into that in just a moment.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah, but I'll set it up for you. The arrival. All right. Let me see what I have for the match here. All right. It was interesting to see Hardy relegated to a background player. Here in his hometown, he not only lost but was dismissed from the ring, while a hotter angle with more prominent stars unfolded seconds later. Expect his usage to change as March approaches and his brother Jeff becomes free to sign with whichever company he chooses. I'll give it about 3 to 3.25 stars. I'm with Bullock on that one. But what happened after the match, though? All right, craziness happens here. Malachi Black comes out, but he's not alone. Oh, no. He brought a friend with him.
Wait, hold. Before you got the friend, remember, Varsity Blonde showed up.
Yes, Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, and Julia Hart.
They all got to Malachi Black. Malachi Black was getting his butt handed to him before he brought a little bit of that backup, as you said. Now you can go Florio.
And he brought him, and well, the lights went out again. We're thinking, okay, he's gone away, whatever. The lights come on, and who showed up? Guess who's in AEW, boys? And especially UMF, because I know you know this guy better than myself and Bullet combined. Brody King. Brody King is in AEW. Now, I've heard the name, but MF dropped that 96-97 JR knowledge. I know you know a lot about this guy.
It's the stinking forbidden door. That devious, evil forbidden door swings open again. Yep. And this time it comes from Ring of Honor. The a big dude from Ring of Honor. He was really good. He was a solid guy. Was not a champion though, but he is one of those top guys that one of those hot free agents as they claim. But this was a big deal for him to arrive in AEW. So yeah, Brody King being there, oh boy, he's a game changer.
Business is about to pick up.
Oh yeah.
Had to do it because you are the JR here, but the arrival of Brody King is one that has been speculated upon and expected for weeks, but that did not hurt its impact. The big man was impressive as he bumped around 3 different wrestlers at once. Suddenly, the House of Black has its largest, most dangerous member, making Malachi Black that much more dangerous. The pace AEW has taken with the Black character, steadily building him into the greatest threat with every appearance, is greatly appreciated and different from some of the other massive signings. So 3 to 3 1/4 stars for the match, and it was great to see Matt Hardy, break a little bit into that broken character with the delete and all that. And he had Queen Rebecca and a couple of the little ones there. So that was a nice little moment there, because considering we were in Matt's home state of North Carolina, and I'm really hoping that we'll get to see the broken character again, especially if Jeff comes in. I mean, that would be awesome. So we'll see. But and then we can have a whole kinds of fun with that again, like we did before. So what will be coming, but we're not going to do it here. So but anyways, 3 to 3 1/4 stars for the match. But oh boy, boys, and Memphis, I give it to you. Oh boy, business is really going to pick up now that Mr. Brody King is now in All Elite as part of Malachi Black's House of Black. Oh boy.
Absolutely. It's going to get very interesting now. So next up we had was the Acclaim going up against Bear Country. The Acclaim wins the match. We're not going to talk about that one. Then it leads us to the main event of the evening, as it was Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia for the interim TNT Championship. And it was Sammy Guevara successfully defending the title at 12 minutes and 45 seconds to successfully defend his interim TNT Championship. So nothing more to say. Who leads off on this? Is it me? Or
yeah, Bullock led off on the last. Yeah, Bullock led off on the last relevant thing.
So, fight of the night, great main event. 3 to 3.5 stars. I really got nothing more to add here. Look, the outcome was never in doubt. And Sammy Guevara successfully defends the title. Give credit where credit's due. You had a very good performance by Daniel Garcia, but nothing more to add. So Anthony, it's yours.
3.5 stars for me. Fight of the night. This was a hell of a match to close out the night. A fantastic display of 2 young stars. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia showcased their strengths and proved they can work their kind of match in the high-profile main event spot and send fans home satisfied. That is a hell of a trait this early in their careers and bodes well for their futures. The feud between Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho 2.0, and Daniel Garcia has been solid thus far, and building to what is sure to be a fun, hellish brawl between all the competitors only enhances things. What AEW most focused on now is building the heels and the genuine threats fans believe can beat the babyfaces, especially since it has now been established that Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston cannot get along. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4. This was the fight of the night, no question about it. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the main event and what transpired?
Yeah, I thought it was about a 3.25 to 3.5 star match. I mean, this was definitely a good match here. I mean, no surprise with the outcome, but yeah, I mean, but obviously 2.0 basically sticking their nose where it didn't belong, and then basically Kingston and Jericho put a stop to it. But yeah, I mean, Kingston and Jericho basically they can't get along, and that could definitely spell some trouble here. So, and maybe a one-on-one match between these two. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get into overall thoughts on this edition of Dynamite.
All right. With that said, Anthony, you get the first say on Dynamite.
6.5 for me. Just like with NXT, I kind of felt this was somewhat of a back to reality show as well, but this was a little better. Of course. I mean, the matches were solid, but they weren't overly spectacular, except for the main event and whatnot. The opening segment was amazing, and Punk and Wardlow. I mean, the storytelling on that was great, and Hangman Adam Page had a great segment. I mean, it looks like the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, is going to be his next challenger for the AEW World Heavyweight title. Oh boy, that's all I can say there. And could he? I don't know if he's going to be a part of if Dan Lambert's going to be his mouthpiece or what's going on with that, but we'll see. But 6.5 for me. So, I mean, that's really the best I can give it. A back to reality show for them, especially after the epic show they had last week with their debut on TBS. So, a little bit of some back to reality, I'm afraid, but I think it was better than NXT. So, 6.5 for me. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 6.5 for me. I mean, it was a back to reality, but this was better than better than NXT, obviously. So, I mean, you had some good, all right matches here. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. So, Fletch, you wrap it up.
Yeah, we will indeed wrap it up, and we will do this. We got another show tomorrow, guys. It is going to be our NFL and college football show. So what we're going to do is we're going to recap the national championship game between Georgia and Alabama. The rematch went down on Monday night. We're going to give full context, full recap on that game, and then we're previewing Super Wild Card Weekend. 3 days of NFL action starting on Saturday with a couple of games. Sunday we'll have 3 games, set it up, and then of course Monday night a special Monday night football game, guys. So we got that as well. So hosted by Anthony Florio, 10:30 Eastern, and then the next wrestling show is on Friday night with Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Rampage, and I believe that's all that we would have right now. So there's nothing else on the Mikey's Mindset for the time being. And guys, until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the NFL and college football Thursday. So long for now. Have a good night.